loads of them earlier. They just walk up and peer in.
Oh.
I suppose you want a word with my husband.
Is he in?
No, afraid not. He's taken his sister-in-law back to the house in Banbury. There's one. I've seen him before. Oh, they never give up. Just when we thought it was all beginning to die down.
3 hours door to door. Not bad, eh? Look, I know it's not much of a consolation, but at least you've still got all this. Who the hell's
Oh, no, not more reporters. David, they must have followed us.
Listen, hang on. You wait there. I'll get rid of it.
I'm sorry. I know you and Mr. Crosby have probably got a lot more important things to worry about. It's just, I was wondering if you'd reconsider letting me and Keith. I suppose he told you what happened.
In rather lurid terms, yes. He made it sound as though you were turning Patricia's house into a den of iniquity.
It wasn't like that at all.
I'm sure it wasn't.
It's just that Keith had nowhere else to go, so I said he could stay for a while. I didn't really think it'd do any harm.
Well, that was very kind of you. Don't you think it would have been a bit more diplomatic if you'd asked first?
Yeah, well, he didn't exactly ask me. It just sort of happened. But, I mean, there's nothing going on or anything.
Oh, I'm not suggesting there is. But poor David, he's had a rotten couple of weeks. And I think it was just finding all those people in the house. And the piano. The piano really upset him. But he's quite right. It is Patricia's house we're talking about. And you really shouldn't have invited people to stay without asking her permission.
I know, I'm sorry.
Still, I don't see why you should be turfed out for a bit of thoughtlessness. Tell you what, don't worry. I'll have a word with David. I'm afraid your friend Keith will have to go.
Can he just...
No. Even I draw the line at squatters.
4-bed semi-right, 10 years old, same as this. 75 grand. There's another one here for 78 grand. Okay, so that's 37 for Lynn. 37 for us three. That's 12 grand each.
Yeah, we can't force her to sell though, can we?
We can use a bit of moral force, yeah. I mean, she's sitting on our inheritance here.
You can't just throw her out, especially not just before Christmas.
What's Christmas got to do with it?
Jeff, she's pregnant.
Yeah, well, that's what she says. Anyway, what does she think this is? A stable in Bethlehem?
Well, she's not going to lie about it, is she?
She might. If she thought that she could get a bigger share that way, yeah.
It's a terrible thing to say.
I'm just being realistic. No offence, Katie, but you can be a bit naive about people.
Yeah, well, maybe I am. But I know Lynn and I know she's not lying. She's carrying my dad's baby. You're half brother or sister. You've got a responsibility to her.
Yeah, of course we have. You're talking as though I'm trying to screw her out or something. I'm not. She gets 50%. I think that's very fair. I mean, it's not like I'm suggesting we take her out into the streets or anything, is it?
I'm not giving any interviews. Did you tell him?
He wasn't a reporter.
Thank God for that. So who is he then?
Up and don't. Look, I think we'd better get back to Liverpool. The man's a bailiff.
What do you mean, a bailiff? What's he doing here? If it's about Clive's tax bill again, he should be talking to the accountant, not to me.
He's here. God, I don't know how to tell you this. He's here to repossess the house.
The house? Rubbish. Why would anybody want to... I'll talk to him.
No. Look, obviously I don't know all the details, but there's big problems with the family business. The receivers are in. Gone under.
What? When did this happen?
Sometime this week. Massive debts, they said.
But I don't understand what that's got to do with the house.
Apparently you didn't own it. The company did. Something Clive arranged.
So the house, you mean... all this... doesn't belong to me anymore?
No.
Clive let the company go bust.
It would seem so, yes.
But I don't understand. The company was doing fine. Clive said...
Look, I'd better drive you back to Brookside, all right?
Can you credit it, eh? Someone could cause a Rolls to crash and then just drive off. Not even bother to find out if anyone was here.
Heard anything from Jimmy? I heard the rumour he was back.
No, he's back. He's been back 10 days, not a word to me. Not a phone call, not a postcard. Don't suppose he'll even get a birthday card for my 40th next week. He's a waste of space, Sinbad. I'm not even sure I want him back in my house, but I'm worried sick about it.
Well, you know Jimmy, he'll turn up.
Yeah, but he's in bad trouble this time. I threw him out, Sin. I thought he was on the rob again. He was into something, and it must have been something big, because I've never seen him so scared. So I can't go to the police, can I? I can't afford a private detective. How can I find him? Oh, hi, love.
Hello. Do you sell caraway seeds, please?
No, love.
Okay, thanks. Excuse me, please.
You've been avoiding me?
No.
See you anyway, Jack.
Yeah, try, love.
Looking for a fat one there? I want a word with you.
Well, I've got to go shopping.
Oh, another little shopping expedition with Terry, eh? You're getting very pally these days, aren't you?
Terry's working. Excuse me.
When you get back, then.
I'm sorry, I did try.
Oh, well, something will turn up. A pleasantly situated cardboard box or something.
It's not that bad, is it?
More or less. I sold the housing officer this morning and there's nothing. Nothing I can afford anyway. What do you think? Heavenly bodies.
Oh, Keith, you can't. It's cruel.
Cruel? I think cool's the word you're looking for. What's cruel about it?
Well, it's not exactly a flattering photograph of Mrs. Brogan, is it?
It's a brilliant photo.
And then to put her head on that body, she's not going to like it.
Hey, I'm going to make her famous. This is my graphics project. Her face is going to be plastered all over the college walls. Well, what about that?
She's not going to be too pleased.
I would have thought a woman her age would kill to have a body like that.
I'm ringing. I saw your advertisement. Is that Mrs. Fegan? It's about your missing husband. I think I know where he is.
What's happened? David, for goodness sake.
Did you hear the lunchtime news?
Well, just the same old stuff. David, what is going on?
Penny will tell you. I've got to dash out and get a paper, see if the news is broken yet.
What news?
Get Penny a drink, my darling. Will it'll be 5 minutes.
Oakview's been repossessed.
Oh, my God.
Is there any sherry, Jean?
Yes, of course.
Something to do with the company. I don't really understand these things. And now the company's gone bust.
How can it have gone bust? I thought it...
God knows. How do companies go bust? Clive and Tim Scott dealt with that side of things. All I ever did was sign papers and company checks.
Tim Scott?
Oh, the financial director. He and Clive fell out. He left a couple of weeks before Clive's suicide. Probably saw this whole mess coming.
I thought everything was going so well.
So did I. Cheers. I thought everything was. The company, Clive's career, our marriage. And it was all a lie, Jean. My whole life's collapsing around me like a pack of cards. Apparently, I've got nothing. Except a suitcase full of clothes and a suicide note.
Oh, Pen. He's forgotten his key. Hang on a sec.
Mrs. Crosby, I believe your sister...
Oh! This is a private house.
Hey, Marg, come here. Just leave her alone, all right? Do one! Are you all right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. You'll be fine in a minute.
Well, it all happened so quickly. I didn't manage that very well, did I?
Yeah, you did great.
Oh.
Has he gone?
What's going on?
Oh. It was a reporter. Thank goodness Keith was around.
Oh, it was nothing. As long as you're okay. I'll see ya.
Oh, for goodness sake, David. Thank you, Keith. Well, say something. Well, at least say thank you. That reporter was terrorising us until Keith frightened him off.
Jean, I do not change my mind on a matter of principle simply because someone does what I would expect any decent citizen to do.
Yes, dear. Full marks for pomposity.
You did what?
I phoned her. It's Mrs. Speig and she's expecting me.
No offence, but I think you're going seriously off your head. Have you worked out the consequences of this? Have you actually sat down and thought about what you're doing?
She's got 4 children, Sinbad. She's desperate. Her husband disappeared 11 months ago. She's got no idea where he is.
And you do?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
The description fits. The clothes, everything. The man I buried.
Yeah? Where is it? 5'11" and last seen wearing a blue shirt. I'm wearing a blue shirt, for God's sake.
You're not 5'11".
Mandy, there are thousands of fellas out there, 5'11" and wearing blue shirts.
But they haven't all disappeared in the last 6 months, have they?
And they're dead right, they haven't. And surprise, surprise, this one just happens to be the man you buried. It's so coincidental it doesn't make sense. But what's new, eh? Nothing you say these days makes much sense.
You don't understand, do you?
I understand the danger you're walking into, and I'm not going to let you do it.
You can't stop me.
I brought you a towel. Oh, my dear, I'm so sorry.
You have been avoiding me, haven't you?
Why should I want to avoid you?
Well, that's exactly what I was wondering. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe she's getting cold feet about our little arrangement. So, just in case you're having any little ideas like, well, I don't know, for example, running out on me, I've decided there's no time like the present. The sooner you conceive, the sooner you'll be shot of me.
What about the HIV test?
Well, one clear test is good enough for me. Why wait?
When?
Well, you're here. I'm here. Don't need anything else, do we?
You mean now, this minute?
Well, it'll probably take a bit longer than a minute, but in principle, yeah.
I can't.
Well, I seem to remember that you have done this type of thing before, haven't you?
Yes, I can't. It's the wrong time of the month.
Oh. All right, okay. Fair enough, I'll give you 5 days. But I'm not waiting any longer than that.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Brogan.
Hello, love. I've just been round to the George Ashes and there's no one in, so I was wondering if you could get these to your friend Beth. It's the sheet music for the Pensioners' Carol concert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that Keith? Hiya, love. You don't mind to say hello to him, do you? How did the photos turn out?
I'll just check with him, Julia, only it's a bit untidy in there.
Oh, don't worry about me, love. A bit of untidiness never hurt anyone.
I think you better clear the floor before Mrs. Brogan comes in.
Don't worry, love. I know what young people are like. So, did you get them developed yet, love, the photos?
Not yet, Mrs. Brogan. Soon.
Well, you will let me know as soon as they're ready, won't you, love? Because they're dying to see them down at the Old Age Pensioners Club.
Well, they're probably going to be quite grainy.
Grainy? What do you mean, grainy, love? Hey, listen, love. Where did you say the exhibition was? The Walker Art Gallery, is it? Oh, yeah, I was thinking. Well, just between you and me, Keith. But you know these fashion catalogues, I mean, they must need chronically challenged models, mustn't they? And one thing I have kept, Keith, apart from my face, of course, is my figure. So I was thinking...
Ah, Margaret, is your friend Keith in?
Is that David Crosby again?
Mr. Crosby's here to see you, Keith.
Ah, Keith. Look, I won't beat about the bush. My wife and I have been talking about what happened today, and obviously we both owe you a debt of gratitude, which I'm afraid I may not adequately have expressed at the time. So, under the circumstances, we feel it would be churlish to ask you to move on. At least not till you found some suitable alternative accommodation.
You're saying I can stay?
That's what he's saying, I think.
But I do want to make it perfectly clear that you and Margaret are the only tenants. And there's to be nothing of, well, shall we say, an immoral nature.
Well, for goodness sake, why don't you just admit that you're in the wrong and leave it at that?
Oh, thanks, Mr. Crosby.
Hey, don't thank him. It was him who threw you out in the first place.
Number 22's that way.
And what good's it going to do, eh?
Go home, Sinbad.
Think it through. Look, this Mrs. Fegan's probably going to have the body dug up. There's no way she's going to be able to identify it.
You don't know that. There must be tests. DNA tests.
Okay. And the chances are 95 to 1 against it being her husband. And you'll have raised their hopes for nothing. And in the meantime, people are going to ask questions. Like, why did you identify that body as Trevor's? Like, where is Trevor? Like, why did you have the patio extended?
I've explained it to you time and time again. I can't live with the guilt.
Well, I'm sorry. That's your problem. You're just going to have to grit your teeth and stick it out.
That's it, 22. I don't want you coming with me.
I don't care what you want. Look, it's my neck you're putting in the noose, not just yours. Well, go on. Show her the shirt. Tell her you think you might have identified her husband as yours because you needed a corpse to bury at the time. Well, it's probably not her husband, tell her, but never mind. You're so burnt up with guilt, you're going to dump it all on her anyway and mess her life up as well. Well, go on. Yeah, she's going in a minute. Hey!
Hey, I can't do it.
Too bloody right you can't.
So we tell her, right? The moment she comes back in.
Why does it have to be now? Why can't we wait till after Christmas?
Because it takes time to sell a house.
You two both in for tea?
Hey, I'm not with Simon.
What about you, Jeff?
Look, Lynn, I don't want to sound unsympathetic or anything, but we've discussed this. Me, Sammy and Katie. And we feel that we're definite about it. We want the house put on the market. Now.
I see.
And we feel that we've got the right to insist, don't we?
Yes, of course you have. I understand that.
Good. So...
But equally, you have to understand that I have the right to fight you on this.
We wouldn't expect you to move until we'd all found somewhere else.
I'm sorry, Katie. I hate the idea of fighting with any of you. But I've got 2 children to think about. And your dad's baby on the way. Okay, maybe you owe nothing to me. But you certainly owe something to this child. And I'm going to see to it that it's brought up in a proper home with everything your dad would have wanted for it. Everything he gave you. So I'm sorry. But unless you can offer me a substantial sum of money, enough to buy a place big enough for me and 3 kids, and for you whenever you want somewhere to stay, then I'm going to have to dig my heels in.
My dad wanted it split 50-50.
Yes, but when your dad made that will, he didn't know he was going to have another child. It makes a difference.
Lynn's right, it does make a difference.
Whose side are you on?
So, I'm afraid if you're going to be awkward, Jeff, then so am I. Because if I have to, I'll fight you every inch of the way to make sure my kids have a decent home.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you. Listen, I'm sorry I can't invite you in. They're all fighting over the will and everything. So I'll just get my coat and tell them I'm off.
I thought we could go down to the cafe again.
Again?
Oh, yeah. Those friends of mine you met will be there. You liked them, didn't you?
Yeah.
They like you. I thought we could have a coffee with them and get talking about things again.
Can we do something just on our own? Go see a film or something?
It's just that we're friends and it's...
I want to go out with you, Simon, not your friends. This isn't gonna work, is it? I want a proper boyfriend. I don't know, to gangs.
It's not a gang, it's... Okay, if you want to go to the cinema, then that's what we'll do.
Are you sure?
I want to do whatever you want. There's, no one looking, is there?
Why?
Because I want to kiss you.
Well, what did you say to her?
I said I'd made a mistake. I didn't go into details.
Well, how did she take it?
She was upset.
Are you surprised?
No.
Mandy, will you, for God's sake, leave it now? You've got to stop this.
I dream about him sometimes. It's like he's willing me to do something.
Oh, for God's sake.
I've done 2 terrible things, Sinbad. Terrible things. Well, there's nothing I can ever do about Trevor. That's a nightmare that'll haunt me to the grave, but this other man, whoever he was, I can still put that right. And I have to find some way to put it right.
Tony, see you in the morning.
Brookside's back tomorrow and Jimmy's back to his old tricks.